What role do you think the wider ecosystem plays? Mentors, coaches, advisors, even VCs as advisors, because many VCs are like very well professionals in the industry, and also peer group, right? Sharing openly with other founders. What role do you think that the wider ecosystem outside of the founders organization play in supporting the founder as they deal with challenges, successes, failures?
All right. So being a founder, look, especially at the early stage, is a very lonely exercise. And it's great to have a co-founder or co-founders, firstly to begin with, because firstly they bring complementarity in terms of skills, strengths, weaknesses, and their point of view. And it brings cohesion, it brings respect, it brings a well thought out, and even investors prefer that. I certainly prefer that. The role of the ecosystem in terms of networking with other founders, I think that is a given. All founders have their closed group of friendly founders who they discuss things with, share references of every kind, whether vendors, whether employees, and all sorts of things, right? Legal included. That's how they do their ref checks as well on investors like us. The ecosystem in terms of working with other coaches and advisors, I think that's a very personal thing. Very often I've seen it go both ways. There are some coaches and advisors who profess that they will spend a lot of time, take away some sweat equity. The naive founders end up giving some equity, and later on, they don't receive the time that they thought that they will. Okay, I think that's unfair. And I'm sure such mentors will not last very long if they continue like this. But the real coaches and advisors who typically do, I think the gold standard of that is that, look, everybody has finite time. So how can you be doing that, promising that finite time across 50 startups? Because then you're just building a folio and then it's just passive investment. So just call it that. Then don't call it active coaching or active mentoring. Even venture capital investors, at least my personal philosophy, and I take pride and joy in that, is I'm on speed dial with most of my founders, and I hope they'll vouch for that. Any time of the day, night, whatever, weekend is, yeah, I enjoy it. So being a sounding board and being a listening post is sometimes also quite fruitful for founders going through various things. I think they're smart enough to figure things out, but they just need sometimes to maybe vent things out, somebody to talk to, somebody to brainstorm things with. And one doesn't have to suggest solutions, right? One can just share experiences. One can just talk about or refer them people. One is not looking for a prescription, because we are not doctors, right? And there is no problem, I feel, that the founders cannot solve. So we often play some of these roles. And naturally, founders, I have found, gravitate, irrespective of the shareholding on the cap table, towards investors who they feel have got their best interests at heart, who they feel culturally close to, who they feel that they can reach out to, who will make the time, and who are genuinely interested in seeing them succeed. And you asked a question about leadership, and your talks are all about leadership. Leadership is all about making other people succeed and influencing them, not directing them into how they should go about doing it, perhaps, and sharing experiences. And if it makes logical sense, and if it suits them, then they'll accept your leadership, otherwise not. So I think it is all these things that founders depend on to guide their journey forward from the ecosystem.
Thank you for sharing that important role that the wider ecosystem plays, and also the pitfalls that lies in that ecosystem. Thank you for sharing that.